Today, we're going tubeless on my wife's Canyon Grizl. She doesn't know it, and she may never figure it out because there's really not that huge of a difference between having tube tires or tubeless, but I think it's important, and I'm a nerd, so we're gonna do it anyway. First thing we're gonna do, get all the air out, dismount this tire, get the tube out, and check just to verify that we are in fact tubeless ready. A very simple way to get all the air out very quickly is to use a little pair of needle nose pliers, and some chain link pliers also have a special tool for this, but on the next step down on the Presta valve, not the little guy that gets all the air out, but the next little bit of threading down, you'll notice there are two flat spots. We will very easily and very lightly grip those two flat spots, and we'll give them a little bit of a quarter twist. Then we can just thread the entire valve core out in one piece, and all the air comes out pretty quick. Once all the air's out, I'm gonna pop this tire off, only 1/2, because why do more work than I need to? A good set of tire levers is always a good stocking stuffer for any of your bike friends. Take that little locking nut off the Presta valve. Goodbye, tube. Went down to my local bike store just to get a complete tubeless setup for this. And it just so happens that they carry Stan's products. Valves, syringe, and obviously the most important part, sealant. The syringe, totally optional, but totally helpful, and you'll see why in just a moment. I'm not partial to this material at all. There's tons of brands. This happens to be what my bike store carries, so this happens to be what I'm putting in. Getting that package of valves quick opened, just like a Presta valve, except no tube on this side. I'm gonna dismantle this thing just like I did the other Presta valve, pulling off that cover, pulling off the locking nut, and this will have a little washer on it. It needs to be replaced later on. Washer comes out, the exact same thing. Valve core has two little flat sides, nice and easy, not squeezing. Little bit of turn, tool goes away, threads out with your fingers. Now I've already verified that these are tubeless ready, but make sure you do your homework because not all wheels are. Most modern wheels that come on gravel and mountain bikes, and I'm sure road bikes as well, will be tubeless ready. And there will be some notation on the rim. It'll say tubeless ready somewhere on it, but also make sure that your tires are tubeless ready. Most modern tires are, just make sure. Inside these rims, we have this DT Swiss tubeless ready tape, clear sign that it's ready to go. Just make sure that yours is. If you don't have this tape, it's not just spoke cover. It is physically a tape that covers the inside of the entire rim all the way out to the lip. That way, when we do fill this with sealant and eventually air, nothing escapes. You can do a homemade version using Gorilla Tape or duct tape. Those things do work, but most modern rims will come with tape as standard. Pushing my valve core back in the same hole the old tubed valve went through. Then installation is reverse of removal. Rubber washer goes on. Lock nut goes on. I'm gonna leave the valve core out for now, and you'll see why in just a moment. Hand tighten, not tool tightened, does not need to be on there like a gorilla. Now, reassemble tire. If you're having a hard time getting that last bit of tire, squeeze the opposite side to make sure that your tire bead is sitting physically in the middle of the rim and not trying to lock itself on the outside. That gives you more space to manipulate the tire over the edge. Clean as that. Not all tires will be that easy. I just have really strong hands. And this is an easy tire. So, you can do this next bit with a standard floor pump, but most houses have a very small air compressor. If you don't, get one, Harbor Freight. And a little air gun cannon guy. This is also incredibly handy for seating grips on your bike, so multi-purpose. Without pushing down on the tire, I'm just gonna fill this until I hear my 2 snaps of the tire beading itself. Maybe if we're quiet, you can hear it on the video. As quiet as my teeny air compressor is, it was still probably too loud, so you may not have heard those 3 snaps. Now, yes, all of the air did just rush out, but that's okay. Adding sealant to a full tire, well, that is a recipe for disaster. This tire size, 47 mil on a 650B wheel, we're gonna add about 2 ounces of sealant, just 2 total ounces. Conveniently, that is exactly how much this syringe holds. Always keep a little towel nearby. You'll dribble a little bit, but not that much. To your still coreless valve, threading my syringe down on, then nice and easy, pushing in my sealant. No fuss, no mess, and yes, paying $10 for that tiny syringe is a lot of money for something very simple, and you may have one laying around your house, but that convenience right there, that is worth $10 to me. Coolant, haha. Sealant is in, valve core going back in, hand tightening, and then one more time with my needle nose pliers. Very, very easily on that flat spot. Nice, easy little twist. Doesn't need to be super, super tight. Normal tight is fine. Now, I will use a standard floor pump to pump these guys up. We are gonna run about 40 PSI. You can run whatever your heart's desires. The benefit of having sealant in here is we can run a significantly lower tire pressure on all of your tires. But we're gonna try about 40 PSI, give her a round, see how. Obviously the first time you ride, you're gonna get plenty of spinning, but it's nice just to give it a little bit of spin here, get that sealant moving around. That way you can also see if there's anything leaking. Shouldn't be, especially after that tire bead seated, but there we go. In real time, not faffing about with a camera, that was about 5 actual minutes, and I even drank some of my beer in between. So, simple, relatively inexpensive, safe, sounds better, rides better, and minor puncture prevention, especially on a gravel bike, mountain bike. Those things are pretty important. Go tubeless and enjoy your ride.